Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English with Sarah and James, the podcast designed to help you build your confidence and fluency. It's wonderful to have you with us today.
It certainly is. Hello, everyone. Today, we're tackling a topic that I know many learners find challenging, and honestly, even native speakers can struggle with it sometimes. We're talking about how to make small talk with strangers.
That's right. That little conversation you have while waiting for a coffee or at the bus stop, it can feel a bit scary, can't it? But don't worry. By the end of this episode, you'll have some fantastic practical strategies and phrases to help you start conversations confidently and naturally.
We'll cover what to say, what not to say, and how to keep the conversation going smoothly. We want to help you turn those potentially awkward silences into friendly, positive interactions. So, let's get started.
I was talking to one of my students last week, and she said her biggest fear was being in a lift with her boss and not knowing what to say. It's such a common situation, that feeling of pressure to say something, anything.
Absolutely. The main goal is just to break the ice. It's not about having a deep, meaningful discussion. It's just about creating a moment of connection.
That's a great idiom, James. To break the ice. What exactly do you mean by that for our listeners?
Good question. To break the ice means to do or say something that makes people feel more relaxed and comfortable with each other, especially when they've just met. It's like breaking a frozen surface to get to the water underneath.
A perfect explanation, James. So, what are some good ways to do that? I always tell my students to start with the obvious. Talk about your shared situation or surroundings. For example, this queue is moving so slowly today, isn't it? Or simply, I love the music they're playing in here.
That's a safe and effective approach. It's something you both have in common at that moment. Another key tip is to use open-ended questions. These are questions that require more than a simple yes or no answer.
Yes, that's crucial for keeping the conversation alive. Instead of asking, is this your first time here? Which can be answered with just yes, you can ask, what brings you to this event today? It invites a longer response.
Exactly. And while you're talking, it's important to be observant and read the other person's signals. If they give short answers and don't make eye contact, they might not want to talk, and that's okay. You can just give a polite smile and end the conversation.
That's such an important point. It's not a failure if the conversation is short. The goal is just to be friendly. This reminds me of another great expression, to strike up a conversation.
Yes, to strike up a conversation. It means to start a conversation, often with someone you don't know. For example, you could say, I find it easy to strike up a conversation with people on trains. It's a very useful phrasal verb.
It is, but we also need to talk about what to avoid. A common mistake is getting too personal too quickly. In many English-speaking cultures, it's considered a bit intrusive to ask about salary, politics, religion, or age when you first meet someone.
That's a huge cultural point. You want to be friendly, not intrusive. The word intrusive is important here. It means your questions are a bit too personal, maybe a little rude, because you're entering someone's private space without an invitation. The stress is on the second syllable, intrusive. The last part, sieve, has a soft S sound, like the S in vision.
That's a great tip. Synonyms for intrusive could be nosy or prying. If someone is asking too many personal questions, you could describe them as being nosy. It's a little more informal than intrusive.
Perfect. And for our final review item, let's talk about the concept of open-ended questions. This isn't a single word, but it's a vital communication technique. An open-ended question is one that cannot be answered with a simple yes or no.
Right. They usually start with words like what, why, how, or where. Instead of asking, do you like your job, which is a closed question, you ask, what's the most interesting part of your job? This invites the other person to share more information.
And that's the secret to a good conversation, isn't it? It keeps the dialogue flowing. When you're practicing your small talk, try to think of one or two open-ended questions you can use. For example, if you're talking about the weather, you could ask, what's your favorite season and why? It's simple but so effective.
So, to summarize everything, making small talk doesn't have to be intimidating. Remember to start with safe, shared topics like your immediate environment. Try to use open-ended questions to encourage a longer response and keep the conversation going.
And don't forget to be a good listener and read the other person's signals. If they don't seem interested, it's perfectly fine to end the chat with a simple, well, have a great day. The goal is a brief, friendly connection, nothing more.
Exactly. Our challenge for you this week is to try it just once. Try to strike up a very short conversation with someone, perhaps the cashier at the supermarket or someone in a queue. Just a single friendly comment is a huge step.
That's a great challenge. Every time you practice, it will feel a little bit easier. Thank you so much for joining us on English with Sarah and James today. We hope you feel more prepared to go out there and chat. Until next time, keep on learning.